again, so I've got it.
That's the land grant for Hollands, which Samuel ended up with, but there's some more there.
Yeah, this one, Tennessee grant, 1854 was the date of the grant, and that's not uncommon. You know, people lived somewhere for a long, long time before the land was actually granted.
So you hadn't told me yet. What did you think the house, the era?
1810 to 1830.
Yeah.
So I was close, wasn't
Would,
I? said about
I've got
1800.
1830 to 1840.
So, and it could have been down to
We got it.
1840. Yeah. So
that's getting close.
yeah,
we?
and really playing hand grenades like we are with dating like that. That's that's a match.
Not to know anything about it, right?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
What do y'all go by, the logs and stuff, or how?
Kind of everything.
Yeah.
The logs are a
Way
big
to
factor,
build.
but the type of construction, and then to fine tune it, we'll look at what was going on in the area, who owned it, what was the family dynamic, things of that nature. This kind of thing, to try to get it even to within 1 decade. You know, that's nailing it if you get within 10 years.
Well, that should pretty much do it, because Holland was the first one that came here. He migrated from over in Spivey area over here, he and his brother. And actually the Indians were still here, because I have a letter stating that they had to fight the Indians, and his brother was killed fighting the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how far back it goes.
And when we were talking about it up there, you know Beth Bradford. That's with a question mark. You know Beth Bradford?
Don't think so.
She's on Spivey. She's a
yes,
Hensley Foster.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, going back.
Yeah.
We're all related.
Everybody's
going
related
back
down
to Holland's mother was a Hensley, and she was from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how come him to be there too. So it all goes back to the Tilsons, the Hensleys, the Higgins family,
Fosters.
the Fosters. Yeah, all goes back.
Yeah. All right, and this one's 1839. Would you mind if I made pictures of these?
I don't have any problem
Well,
with
what
it.
I'm going to do is I'm going to plot them. I will transcribe these and actually plot the calls to actually draw a picture of what this parcel looks like that's called out here.
Okay.
But these are not going to be. It's easier for me to make a photo of them here than try to find where they're recorded or if they're even recorded.
Right.
You know.
Well, especially after, see, these were recorded in what was Washington County
Right.
then, and then there was some discrepancies with it being North Carolina. And
Oh yeah, we
It
know
was-
all about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Who owns
yeah,
what?
you go ahead and do whatever
Okay.
you
Do you
need.
need your camera, Gordon?
I'll just use mine. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it bright enough? Turn that lamp on.
These newfangled gadgets.
Yeah, I know I've got it, but I can't use it.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm just kind of starting to learn to use it, but one of the early things was learn how to take pictures.
Yeah.
Mama, she said that she did have some connections to have it dated with.
Yeah, that dendrochronology where they take a sample of the log and they can date it from that.
Mm-hmm.
So we know someone who just recently did that. So I'm going to touch base with her and see how much it cost and who to go through.
Okay.
Because like the University of Knoxville, like they teach classes on it. So I think some of their students came and helped her.
Okay.
So
Did them logs still all of them's good? Ain't they?
yeah, they look real good. So
There's two that's got a little rot, the two upper ones, but other than that.
yeah, and they look real good.
But in the big scheme of things,
Yeah,
it's
big
in
scheme of
really
things,
good
it's in good shape. Yeah.
And having the siding, keeping the water out. That's
Oh, yes.
That's the biggest
been
thing,
a-
keeping the water out. Yeah.
big.
We've got to work on it. There's some issues
Some
around the
bad,
chimney.
yeah.
Around the chimney, there's something going on. I don't know exactly what yet.
Yeah, that's what really hurt our log structure downtown was that it had terrible leaks for years and finally got that stopped, but now it's all the cleanup damage from that.
Yeah. We, I had a hand in helping restore Chester Inn.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the pickets on the front porch,
Uh-huh.
I cut every one of them.
Oh, okay.
What about that?
That's awesome.
The mantle, the original mantle,
Uh-huh.
you know, there's one original and one we copied. Yeah, one of them's fake, one of them's new.
Well, I didn't know all of them. I didn't know there was an original one.
There's an original one. I stripped it and refinished it.
Do you remember what room it ended up in?
I
The
think
parlor?
the only other one.
I could look at it and tell,
Oh,
but
was
I
this.
don't remember now.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember. It's been, you know, it's been a long time
It's a long
since that
time.
building
Yeah,
was
they did
done.
that in the 90s.
Yeah. But I helped do the reproduction one,
Uh-huh.
and I completely stripped and refinished the other one by myself.
Okay.
That's good information to have.
Yeah,
And I made-
I'm sure it's somewhere in that book.
The book.
But,
Now this one,
no, because we maintain that for the state of
this
Tennessee.
is
Do you?
where
Okay.
We do.
the deed changed from that grant
Uh-huh.
to Holland and to his children.
Okay.
I'm assuming that was when he was killed. You know, he was killed by David Greer.
Do you know that story?
Beth, oh yeah.
Okay.
Beth has that story, I think,
Written.
written.
Yeah, it's been told a few times.
Told it, yeah.
It varies
And I'm-
from tale to tale, too.
That's the one they always do.
Well, the biggest thing is where Paul Greer was killed. There's a lot of discrepancies
Yeah.
there.
These are probably not going to copy real good.
I know it's a
I'm gonna
shame.
take them anyway.
That's
Do
like-
you want to copy this to put on top of that? That tells you.
Yeah, I'm going to make photos of all of them. And
The house in Jonesboro that's, if you're coming from Irwin side,
Mhm.
you're coming through town. If you look between the buildings, it's not the first one, but I think it's the second building. It's pretty tight, but you can see an old house.
where are we at now?
Jonesboro on the right hand side,
Coming into
Marlin,
town.
coming in from Irwin.
Um,
It'd be, like I said, it's not the first like alley, but I think it's the second alley. There's an old house that I've always admired, and it looked like it needed some work done, and I don't know if it's ever been saved or not.
is it on Main Street or is it on a?
No, it's behind those main buildings.
Chester, Cunningham.
Is it the
House.
Cunningham House, the one like
Behind
behind Main Street Cafe?
Kind of across from the Chester Inn, but back by the creek.
Yeah,
Tucked in the
yeah,
alley?
it probably a block this way.
Uh-huh.
Chester
Yeah,
Inn.
it's the Cunningham House. Yeah, the Burrells live there too. The gentleman who's living there now is doing some work.
Easy.
Yeah, it
I
did
thought
need
it'd
some work.
start looking.
Yes, yeah.
And that was one I think was on top of the one that you said wasn't copied good.
I always admired
Okay.
that house. I thought that'd be a awesome house.
It's a fantastic
to save.
house. It's a fantastic house with a fantastic story.
That's these old deeds, the way they used to do them. Well, like even this one's got some places where it shows goes to a rock in a branch. Cause you had
Yeah.
trees. Of course, a lot of it goes to trees. It's gone.
Uh huh.
I've worked somewhere where it's a sapling, then it's a tree, then it's a stump.
Yeah.
And you know,
It's
and you look over
graduated.
75 or 100 years, but it's the same. You know the black oak sapling, the black oak tree, the large black oak tree, the black
Now
oak
the
stump. You know, and it's just, but it's great help. You know,
Yeah.
it,
Uh-huh.
it helps you really define the map.
The
Yeah.
deed for where her.
Now that
Grandma gave
is
us
just
for this
some
house.
copies of the different deeds. There's no grants, I don't think,
Okay.
involved in them. I just picked those out to.
I'm gonna.
What was you telling
the
Dad?
cover sheets. I'm not going to copy the deeds
The-
now.
The measurements for this property where the house is, it comes off the corner of that old house over there. It's about to fall. It's where he took it from there and no post or nothing.
Oh gosh,
It's
I never heard that.
yeah.
Huh.
Oh, that deed's in that box back there, or where they took it.
Yeah.
But it looks like they had put something, but like I say, a lot of these poles are put in and or something concrete.
Well, all the property from Flag Pond to North Carolina, from Sam's Creek to Coffee Ridge was involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed.
10 or 20,000 acres. This is wonderful research you've done.
Yeah.
No, my cousin did a lot of that.
Mama's pretty good at it
But
too.
she didn't have the bones. She only had the paperwork.
Unknown.
She called me one day and said, told me who she was and all, and she said, I'm married to your cousin, and we're looking for some information about the Mashburn family. She said, I want to come. So we made arrangements to come. They had the reunion and all. She came. She had all that information. She had 4 big boxes full.
Oh.
She didn't have the pictures, and she didn't have any concept of none of the houses, the cemetery. So we got all that together for her that I had, and pictures that she had that they didn't know who the people were.
Mm-hmm.
I identified them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's precious. That's just wonderful.
How many children did Granny, or how many brothers and sisters did Granny have?
Well, there was 6, 8 that lived, and 6 that died as infants or 1 year old or more. So
14.
she had 14, but actually 8 of them went
Grew
through
up.
childhood.
Yeah.
You went through their childhood, and
Yeah.
No, her mom and dad is
Samuel and Elizabeth is her mom and dad.
okay.
And Holland and Barbara was Samuel's mom and dad.
Right.
Well, there's 7 generations over there in the cemetery.
Yeah. Been to that cemetery several times. It's really peaceful and it's kept up well.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Well, I hope it continues to be.
Yeah. It's
She got
Sounds
a
like
deed
it's-
where all that parking and all they do there. There's another deed for it just for the Mashburn heirs.
That's where we can be buried.
Her daddy got it from, I guess, your uncle.
Was Samuel's grandson's the one that deeded it to Daddy.
Like, you all don't have any pictures of that house, do you? In anywhere?
Old pictures of that house.
Of whose?
The log house.
Not real old. It was taken, well, probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's all.
There's no pictures of that house before that. That's crazy, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times it wasn't done. It was just
Yeah.
Cameras they were.
Yeah.
cameras was something extra.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
100 years ago, those folk didn't have phones like this. And just
Well, given that you had tenants there for so long, that would.
yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't take a lot of pictures.
Well, now some of the tenants that lived there after my grandmother and grandfather moved here might have had some.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
Tell who that was. He was asking about that
who lived in the house.
after Granny and Grandpa moved over here.
Uh,
And that was right, around 1907. That's what I told him. Is that right?
Well, they actually moved in 1910
10,
from over
okay.
there to here.
Okay, that's off a few years.
Okay.
It was all tenants after that.
Yes. Let me think. Brian and Lou Carter. What was Crip's name? We called him Crip because he had peg leg.
Hey, he's a Harris, wasn't he?
Yeah, Clay Harris and
Yeah.
Rosie. Guy, Bud and Media Cantrell. See, Brian and Lou.
Bill Shelton.
Bill and Sally Crane. And I think the only other one I know is Bill Shelton.
He's the last one living.
I think that's the only one.
And what year did he die? Bill.
I don't know without looking it up.
He stayed.
Was
there
it in the
30
'90s or was it in the '80s?
Okay, let me think.
It'd
That
been
was
30-some
the school
years,
at Lake
didn't he?
Pond. I went to the high school in 89. So it was in the last of the 80s.
And
So,
it hadn't been
35 years ago.
And it hadn't been anything done to it until, has it been 20 years?
No, it's not been quite 20 yet.
It's been 15 at least.
Yeah.
So that's about the time we started trying to fix it back up.
Okay.
So,
It's really nice to know the names, the people that were there, and the people that were there beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's why they call it the Bill Shelton Road.
Yeah.
we tried to
He
get that
lived there
fixed.
so
We
long,
wanted it.
They
Yeah.
thought it was it.
Yeah.
We wanted it done as the Mashburn Homestead or the Mashburn Road, but
Uh-huh.
they didn't.
Well, they won't let us do it now because they did, the guy on the other side did a Mashburn circle
Mm.
where he built his house. And so
Yeah.
we would have to call it Samuel or
Yeah.
something.
Something
Samuel
different.
Mashburn Road or something, yeah.
And then the other one's Higgins Creek, so we can't do the Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins
house.
Road's all over the place.
Yeah.
I
Upper and
noticed
Lower
in
Higgins
one
Creek.
of those things there was a question mark. Little Higgins Creek.
Yeah.
That's
No.
all down the road.
Yep.
It's like this Gentry Mountain Road. There's 81 acres in this.
Thought there's more than that.
What's 81?
There is, according
Well,
to
yeah,
the
there is
deeds.
no-
Okay, yeah, I go by the deeds. The deeds call for
This calls for
Nine.
80.
98 or
This calls for actually 81, and that over there is 14,
Oh,
2,
okay.
and 1.
okay.
They-
Across the road.
Yeah.
And then that over yonder calls for what?
91.
See, and it's like the tax records are like 50.
Yeah, well, it's and over the years, especially in earlier deeds, you find the amounts are rough.
Rough.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
they change over time. The exact same parcel gets resurveyed and loses 20% of its acreage, or gains 20%.
The thing is the tax records, they always do it overhead, and they're always off.
What about this?
What's that?
It's a survey. $1.50 to have that 77 acres surveyed.
Thank God.
Yeah. You already
Oh,
get
boy.
that for now for that.
Now postage stamps $500-600.
I know.
Oh man.
That's really helpful right there.